Welcome back to Both Sides of the Barricade. I have a very special guest this week, Mr. Gibson Borelli. I'm very excited to have him on. Gibson and I have been friends for quite some time, I would say like 2 years. And I'm really excited because we have a ton of stories and a lot of jokes to make. So, Gibson, is there anything you'd like to say about yourself before we start?
Hello, listeners. Let's get into it. This is long awaited on my end. I am the most mentioned guest on this podcast thus far, so I'm glad to put a face to the name, the most famous name. Just kidding. I love Jordan. I'm so excited for this.
I'm pretty sure Phoebe Bridgers has beaten you, but other than that, yes.
Oh yeah, and she has every right. She has every right to do that.
Well,
I love her.
I
She's a
mean,
queen.
but true,
Copycat
Gibson has
kid.
been mentioned many a time because every other guest is also friends with him because we have
Period.
a very small social circle. So,
Exactly.
yep,
We. It's literally the four of us.
yes. Gibson is also, little known fact, little known, he is a celebrity kids chef
Oh yes, yes I am.
and the winner of season 2,
Yeah, season two.
season 2 of Rachel versus Guy Kids Cook Off.
Oh
That's,
wow, she got the title right today.
oh,
Let's
right.
get into it.
Absolutely.
Yes, I am Guy Fieri's replacement in about 5 years. The Food Network will be calling me. I just went through my audition process for for the replacement, just to really prove that I have the star power. But yes,
Yes,
I am a chef. I am a chief. I am a chef.
a sheaf.
I'm a chief.
Yes, I will be threatening the Food Network daily if you ever had a
Ab-
show.
Absolutely. I mean, you should threaten the Food Network daily to run up my royalty checks so I can buy concert tickets when shows come back. But potato, we love you either way.
I actually did see your show on air once,
Oh,
um,
period.
because I think my parents were like, "Is that Gibson?" And I was like, "Sure it is. It
You
sure
have
is."
no idea, like, not to sound like be like glow, but like that happens to me so often, and I can always tell when one of my shows airs because like I'll randomly get like a group of like 20 followers on Instagram that like I don't have any mutuals for, and a lot of them will be like people's mothers. So like I'm glad to know that like my stan base is really like all moms. Like it really makes me happy. But it's so funny because I'll be like one time I was where I was at the dentist and they had the Food Network playing, and like I looked up while they were cleaning my teeth and I was like, oh, I was like, there I am. And the dentist was like, no, you're not. I was like, turn around.
I'm
And
like,
it was like, my face staring down back at me.
"That's me, age 12." Yeah, no.
Right.
Moms love Gibson. That's what we're getting from this.
My literally moms of Gibson Borelli, please send your mothers my name. I will drink wine with them and talk about their children.
I will attend brunch with them.
I will attend book club.
So, how did we, celebrity kids chef and South Jersey teen,
South
meet?
Jersey legend. Legend.
How did we meet? Would you like to tell that story?
Yeah, we met through Clay, um, who is a previous on this podcast, at a Dua Lipa show. Very briefly, I literally think we said hi to each other for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think that was probably the point still where I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so nervous meeting people from like Twitter," just because I was like,
But
"Oh,
I thought you were so cool that you waved, and I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "That's a baddie," but I was like, "I'm not gonna say anything." And then we, I don't know if it was because I think it was because of Ian and the Lana LA to the Moon Newark show that I was
yeah."
DMing with Ian about it, and he was like, "I'm gonna go and meet my friend Jordan." I was like, "Oh, I know Jordan." And then I don't know if we saw each other at that show, but I know we were both there
Hmm.
that night. And then I think the first time we ever like really like hung out, like had like spent like multiple days together was Govball 2018.
Yeah, I would say
And
the
then
same.
that day was that Sunday, especially like, well, that whole Govball day, like that Halsey day, the
Oh,
redacted
we'll
day.
get into that. We'll get into that.
I'm not talking about get her off the TV. That day was so cursed, but that Sunday, the Sylvanessa Lil Uzi day,
So
perfect,
good.
so good.
I forgot about that day. That was so fun. I got on your shoulders that day.
Yeah, there's some photo of that. I'll
Yes.
have to find it, but
I'll
like
pull it out. I'll pull it out and
that,
post it on the Instagram account.
that I think that was one of like if I think about it, that was one of the best Gumball days ever. Like out of any year, like just so fun.
Yeah, I would agree. Especially, like, Sylvanesso, like, that one was, like it was like seeing, like
Immaculate.
yeah, it was like seeing, like, Beach House, like, it was just such, like, an
Right.
atmospheric, like, fun time, we were just dancing
Oh,
and
yeah.
vibing.
Vibing. We were no thoughts, just vibes. We
Yep.
were no, but that set was so good. Because it was like at sunset and the music was perfect and we were all together. And I think that day was so good because we weren't really trying to see anybody. We just like sat on the grass for the whole day and like ate and watched like because we could see two stages from where we were sitting. So we just kind of like
Yeah. Plus, like, I mean, compared to the day before, anything would have been relaxing.
uh literally that the way that my bones hurt after that day. And like I remember after that, I think I that was the first time I ever lost my voice, is because I literally threw it out screaming at Halsey.
Can't blame you. Were you there at, like, the Brockhampton show? Redacted. But, like, were
Which
you
one?
there
Because I've
the
been to all of them.
yeah, true. I think it was Love Your Parents tour, the one where I lost my voice completely. Yeah, I
Yes.
was gonna say, did you hear me that week?
Yes.
Whew, that was
Was
some
that Irving? Was that Irving?
yes, yeah. That was
Yeah.
when I went to, like, 5 shows in 1 week, and I, like,
Yeah.
got a sinus infection, and it was January, and it was awful. But, yeah, that was where I had absolutely like, I had never lost my voice like that at a show, so
Literally.
I'm like, I
Well,
can
for
relate.
one of those we were bound to get sick because I remember for one of those Brockhampton shows, I got there at 9 a.m., maybe even before,
In
and
January.
I think it was like 8 degrees that day. Like I remember I was so cold that I literally couldn't speak. Like I was like the shivers had shut my jaw shut. That like I couldn't even talk. So I knew one of us was bound to get sick. But then wasn't wait also wasn't Halsey at one of those? Two of those?
Yes, I think she
Wasn't
was,
she at the
because then
Irving
people
shows
were
in the
yeah.
balcony?
Yeah, because people realized and then, like, ran out before the show ended to try to catch her outside,
Yeah,
and
there
I
was
was
a
like,
certain group of stands that was chilling outside the door waiting for
"Yes."
Halsey.
I don't even know if they went to the show or if they just, like, found out she
No,
was
they
there.
didn't. Because I remember I walked out and they were like, "Oh, we found out she was here, so we came over." I was like, "Y'all didn't even see the show."
I'm like, "Halsey, Jesse Rutherford, and Devin Lee Carlson are here. That's what we care
That part,
about."
that part. And but like now in hindsight, like, is it better that they didn't give money to Brockhampton? Yes. So yeah. So yeah. Anyway, that's how we met.
Moving on. So, okay, yeah, I mean, we kinda touched on it, but how would you say our friendship has evolved over the past 2 years?
Oh my God. Have we not been through the ringer in the past 2 years?
Yeah.
Jordan and I have had high highs to low lows by Lolo Zui. Um,
Yes.
we have done it all. We have camped for Charlie XCX. We have been to haunted houses. We have fought in her kitchen. We have done everything. Everything in between. We have done it. So literally, all I can say is like after these 2 years, like I feel like it actually. When was that Dua show? Because I think we might be coming up on like an anniversary.
Yeah, I honestly think it was, like, November 2nd, I thought, so
Was that
we've hit 2
2017?
years for sure. Or
I think
was it
that show was
2017?
2017. So I think we've been on. We think we're on three. I think we met in 2017, but we really didn't become friends until 2018.
True, because Gov Ball was 2018. Oh my god, it was 2017.
Right?
That's
Can
so
you believe
long
that?
ago.
That's great. That Dua show was amazing.
She was
But
serving that night.
sir, that what did she wear? That like bedazzled slip,
Yeah,
the
and
see
then, like,
through,
the
everything.
flame boots.
The flame boots. I remember I saw a tweet where it was like only legends wear the flame boots,
Mhm.
and it was like a photo of like Rihanna in them, Dua in them. I forget who else was wearing them,
Well, they were
but yeah.
expensive. They were, like, YSL, I think.
Oh yeah, and they're also so hot that like you better wear those boots.
Yeah. No,
But I
she
don't
was
know.
serving.
Our friendship has taken many forms.
It has.
But we are besties. I think if there's one thing about us is that like, and I think that's to be said about like our entire friend group is that like we could even go away, not speak for a while, and then we
Yeah.
come back together and like everything's still good. Like we are still. It's not like a friendship that you have to tend to. Like it's one of those friendships where you kind of connect enough that like they exist throughout time and space. It's not like a. It's not one of those you have to attend to or it's going to go away.
Yeah. And I love, like, friendships like that. Like, I'm all for like, I am so, like, obsessive with friends sometimes, like, where I just,
Oh
like,
yeah.
wanna hang out all the time, but I love a good low maintenance friendship where
Oh
I can
yeah.
just, like, do my thing, then come back and do whatever. But, yeah, it's nice because we live so far, like, not, like, so far from each other, but it is a hike. And
Yeah, we
so
can't like it's not like me and Clay, like I can't just come over to your house.
yeah.
We have to plan it.
So that's what makes it nice that it's low maintenance. But
Period.
the fact that we've bonded over shows has been so like
Oh yes,
amazing
if
and
there's one place, the best hotel in all of New Jersey is Jordan's residence, her guest room. If y'all need a hotel, you will get the best hotel service ever. You will get to hang out with her brother. You'll get to hang out with Dylan, the king, Jordan's parents, the goat. You'll get to hang out in her basement if you're lucky and see her dad's poster collection. I mean, it is a true experience in the Jordan Taylor residence.
I'm gonna start Airbnb-ing the guest
Oh,
room.
please, please. Oh my God. Everyone's like, the hottest destination in the country right now, Marlton. Airbnbs are selling quickly. That's why you have a business you got to capitalize on.
No words, sharing my town on the podcast.
Oh my God. No, she lives in Cherry Hill. What did we, is
It
that
went from worse to worser.
worse to worser? Everyone, actually, my mission as a guest on this episode is just to slowly dox Jordan. Like, I'm just gonna leak her like number.
Fair enough. I don't think anyone's searching, but
If anyone was curious, here it is.
well, enough about me and my home.
Yes.
How would you describe yourself as a fan, Gibson?
Okay. Well, I think me as a fan, it's a little interesting because I think like going back to like the kid chef thing, like I've seen kind of both sides of the entertainment industry. I've
Both sides of
seen,
the barricade.
yeah, that's why I did that. You see that? I'm so good. Like we are really just cross branding today. But but yeah, so like I don't know, I've seen both sides of the entertainment industry where I see how like the people that are praised and like the celebrities like handle their business, and then I've also seen the fan perspective. So I think it's like I remember I went through this 1 year phase, which was really weird, where I was like a really crazy like stan. Like I was camping, I was going to hotels and meeting people. Like we were doing things that like looking back on it, I'm like, what is wrong with you? But like now, I think I've kind of come into like a mature age where like I now, um, I think as a fan and an artist, like my relationship with them, I think it's just kind of like I love music so much that I think for me it isn't about the celebrity as much as it is about the music.
Yeah. No, and I think like you and I have probably the most similar
Yeah,
relationship with artists that I can like think of in my like list of guests that I have.
yeah,
Just because like you and I both I feel like we have moments where we're very like insane.
crazy, crazy.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, like when we meet artists or people that we like look up to or just like their
Yeah,
music, it's more of a casual experience
yeah.
versus, or at least a lot of the time. Sometimes, like, look, I mean, you met Lord.
Oh
I,
yeah, when I met Lord, it was raps. Like there was no casualness. It
yeah.
was like that was like I usually when I meet celebrities, like I'm like not ever like I'm not like hound. I'm not like gonna like. I
Oh yeah.
think the worst thing you can
Either.
ever do to anybody, let alone a celebrity, is like scream their name or scream in their face or cry. Like that shit. That's just
Yeah.
like you're very overwhelming. But like I remember when I met Lord, like I literally had things I wanted to say to her, and like I just like am such a fan of her music that like at that moment when we hugged, my brain was like, and cry right now,
Terror
tears.
404.
Right.
Yeah.
And she looked at me and I was crying and I was like, damn, I was like, this is embarrassing. And that's how it was with Lana for the first time. But then when I met Lana again at the New Yorker Festival, when she like casually just sat behind me the whole show,
Oh
like I,
yeah.
I remember I like was like, I just like I think we talked for like 5 minutes, just like casually, just because I don't know. I kind of got out of that phase where and I this is a conversation I had with Clay, um, where it was like, they're just people with cool jobs and they just make good music. And I think once you kind of take away that like crazy celebrity factor that our culture like puts into
Yeah.
celebrities, then I think like you just realize that like they're a person, they made something that you like, and like they're just a normal person.
Yeah. No, that's true. And because it's not like they're going into, or at least a lot of people, they're not going into it like, oh, I want to be a celebrity, so I'm going to make music just to be a celebrity. Like they're making music just because they want to, and like that is
Right.
their job, and it just happens to put them on this like platform or pedestal. And so like,
Right.
I think that's another thing. Like we meet a lot of these artists
Mhm.
before they get to that point, like when they are
Right,
smaller.
like Billy, like
Yeah.
like Billy. We hung out with her at Baby's All Right in what 2017
Oh
at that
my
one
God.
Infinity
Yeah.
show.
Hmm.
Like it was like we all hung out with her in front of the venue. Like I think since we know how these people are, I'm also like looking out my window and someone like in a black car just pulled up and I don't know why like my like stand pulled in. I was like, black car.
Not the black SUV.
Not the black SUV. Um, but yeah, I think like once you get to know these people as just like a normal person,
Mhm.
like I think it takes away a lot of that like crazy like stan energy just because
Yeah.
like you realize that they're just normal people. But I do think like on the flip side, like if I ever meet Lady Gaga, that will be a stan moment because
Yeah.
that is like I think there's certain artists when their work means so much to you that it's hard to kind of meet the person that has created that work for
Yeah.
you,
Especially someone like Gaga. I mean, like,
right?
the years of, like, serves that she has provided us
Oh
and,
yeah,
like, iconic, like, pop culture moments, like, it's hard to, like, look at her and be like, "That is just a normal person like us," like, even
right.
though she is, obviously, but it's
And
hard.
also for me, like Gaga was the reason I realized I was gay. Like I remember like being like 7 years old, sitting on my computer watching the Poker Face music video and being like, this is something. And then like that was like kind of the first like period I ever took it to be like to like that really made me realize I was something different. So I think like if I ever meet Gaga or like Gaga, if you're listening, like it was like it was just one of those moments where I just literally like my whole life has changed because of her.
Yeah.
So I think like once you have like connections to celebrities and their work like that, then I think it's a little interesting. But I think for a lot of artists, like we just kind of realize that they're normal people.
Yeah, for sure. And I was gonna ask you, like, what your relationship with music was like growing up that, like, got you to this point, and I think your relationship with, like, Gaga and her music is, like, a
Oh yeah.
huge factor in that, but is there anyone else that you would attribute, like,
I
getting you
mean,
into this world?
my parents definitely, and I think we've had this conversation before. Where
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
honestly think it's genetic. Where like
Yes.
if your parents were big music fans or stands or concert groupies, their children are gonna be. Because
Yeah.
like my dad is a huge metalhead. Like he like plays guitar, loves metal. So a lot of like Aerosmith, Metallica, Black Sabbath, AC/DC, like that was all like in my house and stuff I was listening to. But then also from my mom's side, like Sade and Jamiroquai. So those are like the sounds of like my childhood. So I honestly think a lot of the reason why I love music so much is attributed to my parents.
Yeah.
And like I think them like putting me onto music and like them letting me go to shows was something. And I think that's also because of my parents. Like my mom has seen Sade up and down the coast, all around the country, I think like 20 times.
Wow.
And like my dad had a radio show in college and like is a music fan and was a concert groupie and like went to all these metal shows. And so like I think it's part of like I really think it's like your I don't want to say it's genetic, but I think there's something in the air, something in the
Yeah.
water
Yeah.
that like makes that translates it because I think your parents also understand what mindset you have.
Yeah. Well, and I think that that's also, I mean, it's probably genetic, like you said, but also like just them like raising you on like so surrounded by music and just like being, you know, in touch with that like as a
Right.
child, like it kind of intrigues you. Like I always talk about my dad and like how he would make mix CDs for me and like I would play them on my little CD player and like it would just be like whatever he liked, he would put on my CDs. And
Yeah.
so
That my dad did that. I
yeah.
remember my dad used to what was the song? It was a Chris Brown song. It was
Really?
Chris Brown and T-Pain. It was like he downloaded the Rockstar by Nickelback music video, and I could tell you I could give you the scene by scene breakdown of that video, but it was like that, and there was a couple other songs, and then there was this one Chris Brown song, and I remember when the Chris Brown Rihanna thing happened, I went through to every device in my house and I like deleted it out of my library. And my dad was like, "Why is the Chris Brown song missing from our iTunes?" I was like, "You better not put it back on there. Rihanna is right." And my parents still didn't know I was gay because I was like writing for Rihanna, but that's different. But like, I don't know. It's just like things like that. Like like my parents literally fed me music, so I think
Yeah,
it's
same.
just it's been part of my life.
Yeah, because even my mom would play, like I would get 80s pop from her, and then, like, my dad would give me, like,
Oh yeah.
90s, like, post-punk and, like,
I,
grunge music.
I really don't think we appreciate your dad enough. Like I really just think he is the best man ever.
I literally asked him if he wanted to be on the podcast, he's like, "I don't think anyone would be interested in hearing
I
what you say."
would be interested. We all would be interested.
That's what I'm saying, I'm like, "Dad, like, you should really be on," like he's like, "Yeah, but nobody's gonna care." I'm like, "Dad, I talk about you in, like, every episode." Like,
Every
it's not even
episode, and
funny.
I talk about him in my normal dated. I am a stan. Listen, my stan freakouts when I meet somebody. Jordan's dad.
It
Lana
extends,
Del Rey.
Dave.
I am calm. When I see Dave, I'm like Dave.
Oh my God, I'll have to tell him that. He loves you guys too, because he loves that you guys are so passionate about music. Because, like I said, I think the first time he witnessed me like meeting Stan people, or like people from Twitter, I should
Yeah.
say, was the 1975 at Madison Square Garden, and he'd never seen the
Oh, that show was
1975.
so awesome.
Yeah, he had never seen the 1975, so I was like, "Please take me. Like, I want to go to the show so bad." I like begged him. It was back in January that the tickets went on sale, and then it
Oh
happened
yeah,
in June. I was like, "Dad, we have to go. Like, I want to see them so bad."
because that was
And
the June 1st show. The June 1st of
yeah,
19. Oh,
yeah.
so
So
that show was so fun.
I know it's still one of my favorites. I talked about it with Allie. But yeah, so I he came to that, and then there were like 20 people from Twitter that like were all there in the
Oh yeah.
and so he witnessed me like actually meeting people that I had been talking about. I'm like, no, I know people on Twitter. Like, this isn't like a stranger like
Right.
situation.
And that's like when I would tell my mom, like when I was like, 13, 14, like sneaking into shows like middle school or early years of high school, like I would tell my mom, like, I'm going to the show with my friends. And they're like, she's like, what friends? And I was like, Destiny and Allison and this and that. And I would like be naming like stands, and they'd be like, and my mom would be like, do these people exist? And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, they do. But I think it's hard that's one thing for like, I think or that's hard for our parents to grapple is like, Twitter is like, when they like it used to be like meeting somebody online was like sketchy as hell. But
Oh
now
yeah.
with like Twitter and music Twitter, like I've started saying I'm a member of music Twitter. I'm not a stan. I'm a member of music Twitter.
That's better. It sounds much more like professional and
Much
sane.
more like that I'm competent and I'm smart.
Yes.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I think like and that is a big part of why I love going to New York City shows and like shows in like NYC, Philly, is because half of the fun is seeing people that you know there and making
Hmm.
friends. Like
Yeah.
if I never made friends at shows, I wouldn't know you, I wouldn't know Clay, I wouldn't know any of my best friends, because like that's also part of the experience, is going to these shows and meeting these people.
Yeah. And that's why my dad was like he saw this like group of 20 people being like, Jordan, like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, oh my God, see, Dad, like they're real. Like he's like,
Yeah,
wow, they
right.
know you. Like, so I think he was just like surprised that like, because you said it used to be like a sketchy thing. Like he was surprised that it was like a legitimate thing. Also,
Right.
that show turned him into like a 1975 stan.
That
So
show is so classical. I really don't think we talk about how, listen, the 925, I love and hate them so much, but that show was the we're allowed, I feel like I've already cursed on this, but we're allowed to curse
you're
here,
allowed to
right?
curse. You can say whatever you want.
That show was the fucking shit. That show was so good. That show was like, I literally remember I left that show and I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
The
Like,
energy, like it's just unmatched.
and that big like stand pit in the back of the GA,
It's the best.
unmatched.
Yeah.
Unmatched. The vibes. And wasn't that like the same weekend where it was also like Gov Ball that weekend? So it was like the 1975, then Gov Ball.
Yeah, I didn't go to Gov Ball, but I went to see Banks the next day in Philly. So
That's what it
that,
was, because it was that weekend, because I remember I camped for it was the 975, and then day one of Gov Ball, which was Lord, which I camped all day and got center barricade for, and then the next day was
that was Banks probably
the
playing.
Banks
Yeah.
day. It was the Do It and Banks day, where I met Do It and Banks at the signing tent. And then the day after Gov Ball was a rainy day, but that was the day of the Halsey Sirius XM Studio at Webster show for HFK. So it was like bang, 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 bang. But I think those days are some of the funnest days to ever like love music, because
Yeah.
those days where you're just like constantly listening to music and constantly running the shows with your friends and seeing things and getting into events, like those are what make it worth it.
Yeah.
And that's what like makes it so much fun.
Yeah. And I remember being in line for Banks because I camped the next day at like in the for the Philly show,
Yeah.
and like Dua's album and Hopeless Fountain Kingdom came out like the same day. And I was like
Yeah.
in line just streaming that, and like Ian was there and we were just listening to that like the whole time in line. And then that show was immaculate. The Altar tour, Banks, if you're listening to this, please
Oh
read more of
yeah.
the Altar. I was
Banks,
so
Banks,
bad.
if you're listening to this, I love Banks so much, and I don't think we talk about her enough as a
No, we don't.
culture. She's so good. She is so good.
She's literally like my favorite artist to see live. But honestly, like again, love hate relationship with 1975. But I'm sorry, their shows are literally unmatched. Like,
Unmatched, unmatched. Their shows are always, and I think a big part of what is so good about the 975 is the energy in the crowd. Like
yeah,
if the energy in the crowd was off, the whole show would be off, because they feed so much off their crowd's energy. But like when you get like a perfect storm 1975 show, It's like God tier. And especially like Gumball this, not this summer because Corona, but like that the summer before, like where it was like Casey into the 975 into Florence, like the
Yeah.
energy in the crowd was just so like by the time we got to Florence, like it was just like it was
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I think my favorite shows that I've seen of them were definitely MSG, and then when I saw them in DC at the Anthem, that show was
Oh,
amazing. 'Cause,
Anthem.
yeah, it was like I'm trying to
The
remember who.
very cursed Anthem.
Yes, but it was a great venue for them. I'm trying to remember who was there from like Alyssa was there. Um, Alyssa's like the only one that I can remember off the top of my head
Alyssa,
because the
that
energy,
queen.
yeah,
That
amazing.
queen.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I think my one of my favorite 975 shows, which I think anyone was there except Izzy, was when they played Meadows Fest in Queens at
yeah,
City
yeah.
Field. Immaculate. Oh my god, it was so. I think they were right after. It was like blood orange in them. Oh my god, it was
Yeah.
the Meadows. Rest in peace, the fallen soldier. Always had the best lineups. Like the vibes were always so good. They got Sky Ferreira out of the goddamn hut to come perform at that, where she came on stage and cried for 45 minutes and then like said she had stage fright, performed with her sunglasses on, cried, did a new song, uh, did Love in Stereo. Like it was like
Poor
everything I wanted
Sky.
to that honestly, not poor Sky. I'm over it. And I think we should have the conversation.
I
If
mean, I
it's
feel bad that she had that experience at the Meadows, not like poor Sky, like everyone's forcing her to release. Like,
well, yeah. Well, poor Sky in that moment. But I mean, like in the terms of her career, no poor Sky. How what has it been? 8 years?
oh, I have no idea. It since 2014, so like
Ridiculous.
6, I think. Yeah.
Ridiculous. And then she gave us Downhill Lullaby and was like, boop.
Yeah, that was weird how she just released one song and then was like, okay.
Because I think we were supposed to get a rollout there, and then
Yeah,
just
me
nothing
too.
ever happened.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say RIP to the Notes tour where Phoebe was gonna open.
The Phoebe Bridgers headline Madison Square Garden show? Are
With
you
clothes
kidding
for the
me?
1975.
Yeah, with After Party by the 1975. Are you fucking serious? That made me so.
It
And
would
the
have
fact,
happened, but you know what makes me feel better about it? It would have happened before Punisher was out, so I'm like, you know what? Like
but
maybe
but still, Stranger in the Alps live. Like, are
no. Look, I'm trying to make myself feel better.
and then she would have came out for what is it? Jesus Christ, 2005, God Bless America.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me? Are
I
you
know.
fucking kidding? And you know what? If anything, then Maddie got in his flop racist era. So then, like, we were able to throw that to the side real quick, and we were like, any. I was really like we tossed that shit right out. We said goodbye, and if anything, now she doesn't have to split her profit with them, and she can just headline Radio City like planned and be fine.
Not Radio City. I mean, I'll attend. I'll attend like any show I can for this tour.
Abs- I honestly was debating, like, not that I would have done it during Corona, but like that Red Rocks unplugged thing. Like, if I had been able to fly to Colorado and sit
Oh,
in the Red Rocks parking lot,
yeah, yeah,
I would have done so with pleasure.
yeah. Even if it wasn't like Corona, like when things come back and if she has an actual show at Red Rocks, like, girl,
We will be in
I'm
attendance.
like, I might have
I
to
am
make
getting
the
on that
trip.
plane. I am getting on that plane. That's my bucket. That's a bucket list venue for me. I need to go to Red Rocks.
Plus, like,
I need
it
to.
looks like the Punisher cover. I'm like,
Right.
imagine being there.
Oh my god! And also, can I give a hot take? The Copycat Killer cover is better than the Punisher cover.
No, but
Okay,
but yes, I mean, it is amazing.
I think I love. I mean, she gave that Halsey backbend. I was like,
It is really cool. I'm like the fact that it's all strings and vocals. I'm like, I just know she did this for me. Like,
and the Kyoto one she already put on Spotify.
amazing.
Classical shit.
Yeah.
Classical shit.
She never misses. I'm sorry. Like she never misses.
Never misses. I think it's ridiculous how she never misses. Like
Yeah.
like when has she missed?
Can't think of
Never.
the time. I really can't.
Not once. Not once. Not once.
Oh my God. I just okay. I have this quick question for you.
Yes.
So it's not a quick question. It'll probably go us onto another
Give
tangent,
it to
but
me.
like
Give it to me. Give
so
it to me.
what kind of lengths have you gone to for artists and shows?
Oh, not this goddamn question. I okay. I think my weakest moment in my heart of hearts when I think about things that I am not proud of but I did it. Is when I did 19 hours for 21 Pilots.
You did?
19 hours for 21 Pilots.
Oh my god. I didn't know that. I thought you were gonna pull out Webster Hall. So I was like,
19
wait,
hours for 21 Pilots. I think it was. I think it was. Was
which
I supposed
tour
to like
was it?
a blurry
Okay,
face?
that's
So
fair.
like it was. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Like I'm gonna put it out there. I am an ex 21 Pilot stan. Their music is so good. Vessel and Blurryface, mwah, classic.
yeah,
Like we
that's
don't
fair.
even like we don't need to do the slander. But like I think we got there at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we got there at 3 o'clock in the morning. I think we were numbers like 100, like number 100 in line at 3 a.m.
They're as bad as 1975 stands.
It was crazy. And it was at the Prudential Center in Newark. So we were camping at the Prudential Center outside in the middle of January. It was so crazy. And I we it was that was like toxic. Like that crowd, insane. And I think I got 4 songs in and went to the back because it was like 12 it was like 12-year-olds and like their mothers, and it was so packed in. And there was a point where I literally couldn't feel my feet and the crowd was swaying and I got my ankles like literally stepped on
Ugh.
by someone in Doc Martens, and I was in so much pain and my heart was beating and I thought I was gonna pass out. And so I was like, boop, and I went to the back and I was like 19 hours to stand in the back. But then I got barricade at the B stage, and when Tyler used to climb that pole for I think it was for car radio when he used to do that, I got barricade for that pole. So if anything, it turned out really good. But like 19 fucking hours for 21 Pilots was absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why I ever did that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like an instance where you weren't with me, where I was like doing something clown like. But I'm trying to think because the only time I've camped overnight was for
It was for
Halsey
Badman.
Webster.
And
Yeah.
can I talk about that
Yeah.
now that that instance is wrapped and done? You know who won that day? Me. You know why? Because at 11:30, when everyone was getting ready for bed, I said I'm gonna go take my physics lab, and I went home and I slept in my bed and I went to school and I took my physics final, and then I left school directly after and popped back out and I brought everyone mac and cheese so no one would be mad at me, and then we were good. That show was fucking awesome. I literally listened to that Badlands audio and cry.
Yeah. Oh my God. When that live thing came out, I was like,
Immaculate.
oh, oh, so we get to relive this. And you know what? Good, because the amount of suffering that we
The serotonin that brings, like just listening to her, like like listening to our voices scream again. What
yeah.
did she say? Where she says, "I recognize every person in here."
I was like, I know you do.
I was like, do 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 do.
Yeah. Let's like have a little section here about our like Halsey memories because we have quite a few together.
Because we have quite a fucking few. If there's one person I did the Olympics for, it's for Halsey.
Yeah.
Like Olympics. Like I did every ring in that Olympics logo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll start with Gov Ball because that was our first Halsey show together, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and I don't know if you went to GMA the morning before. She played Good
I
Morning
did
America.
not. I
Yeah.
think she did GMA that day. I think. What did we do instead? I just think I might have had school,
Yeah,
but
it was
like
right. It was before day one. Like it was the morning of
I
day
think it was I think it was the morning of day one. Then I think I don't know what I was doing that day, but I think that's different. But anyway, yeah, that was miserable. Clay fainting at barricade, like the suffering having to push out of the Travis Scott pit. Which in hindsight, why did we not stay at barricade? But I mean, we're not going to talk about that because
Yeah, I wasn't like a stan like that for Travis. And
because
you know what? I chalk it up to I probably would have stayed if I had had water or food that
oh
entire
yeah,
day. Like, but I
and
hadn't.
and had Flume not been playing because I wanted to see that Flume set, and
Yeah,
also like we got our Guffball Travis experience at Firefly
yeah,
in 2019.
and,
That show,
yeah,
mwah, that like little front barricade section
yeah.
we had,
We weren't getting
immaculate.
pushed, so
But that Halsey show, what I mean, it was so fun.
it was
Like,
worth every second on that barricade. I don't care.
yeah,
Like,
and it was like what was it? It was like, oh my god, what is his name? Mickey Echo? Didn't
mhm,
he like play and that weird set? And then it was like Aurora, classic,
yeah, and
Lainey,
Lainey, which was good.
classic.
I'll give it to them. It was fun for a
You
festival set. Like I had fun.
so good. And we don't love them anymore now that they make songs called like "I Still Talk to Jesus." I'm like, you better work, born again Christian. Um, but and then it was Cut Copy, which was terrible.
I'm
One
sorry.
of the worst festival sets I've ever sat through. Literally miserable. Them and Claro, two of the worst festival sets I've ever sat through, and I
And
love
like
Claro.
now I think I'd be happy to see Claro because I'm like, bags, yay.
Yay!
Like, but like I think like when she was first starting out, I just wasn't like feeling her music as much as
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
else was. But all my friends wanted to see Claro anytime she was playing a festival, and I was just like, Mama,
But
I'm
the thing is,
bored.
after Immunity came out, and I fell in love with Immunity. I saw her at Camp Flognaw, still a miss, because like
No
they
words.
put her on. I think she was on the main stage before FK Twigs, so like she was
Okay.
gonna get
Yeah.
shut out like the second she walked off stage. But it was like all the frat boys, like there was so many, not like frat boys, but like all the skater boys, and like they were just, I guess, trying to troll her, and like they were forming like these like fake mosh pits, and like
The
she
alewife.
right, and she did like I don't think I can do this again, and like they did a mosh pit, and I don't know, I feel bad for her because like I know that her shows would be so good if everyone like knew the words, but it doesn't help her case.
Yeah. No, yeah, Clara, I've seen her twice, and both times I was like, perhaps not again. But
There's a video of the two of us at Govball
sitting,
sitting on the floor during her show. We were like, I think we were so annoyed that day. I can't remember why we were so that day. What a great lineup! I was so annoyed that day.
my
I can't even tell
favorite.
you why.
That's why.
Oh, we are not talking about
No,
Doc
we're
Martin.
not.
Doc Martin Gate. We can leave her. I think we can leave
Doc
her at the door.
Martin Gate. Every time I hear someone wearing Doc Martens at a show, like when you talked about your ankles getting stepped on, I was like, the trauma. Like I will never wear Doc Martens to a show.
You feel like a phantom pain in your heels. You're like,
Yeah. I literally thought about it today. Like I was like, if I had to do that weekend over again to like keep concerts from stopping, like because of Corona, would I do it? No, I would not. Like, if that meant that I had to do that weekend again, I would not do it. Like, not even to save concerts for this
and
year. It
that's
was
what's
that
so
bad.
funny. And that's what's so funny because like literally that weekend, that Gov Ball lineup was so good.
Yeah.
It was immaculate. Like that Friday where it was like Tyler, Brockhampton, Blood Orange, Mo. That Saturday it was Florence, 935, Casey, Claro, and then that Sunday, which was like didn't happen, but that would have been Charlie,
SZA.
SZA,
Yeah.
Trinata.
It wasn't like the thing is like I wouldn't even say it's like immaculate. It was just like 5 or 6 good people every day. And so I was
Every
like, okay,
day.
that's perfect because we never had to worry about like
Overlapping
overlap.
sets.
Yeah. So I
I
was
think I
like,
had to worry about overlap once that year, and it
yeah,
was for Blood Orange and Mo.
Blood Orange.
I went to Mo. Shit was amazing, and I saw
And
Blood Orange.
honestly, yeah, yeah,
She's so good. Me and Miranda ride for her.
yeah. Was Miranda there?
Yeah, it was me and Miranda. I was like, you're coming to Mo with me. I was like,
She didn't see
oh
Blood Orange? I'm
no, because
surprised.
we're Mo girlies. Like
Oh,
me and Miranda went to um Union Transfer on the
oh,
latest
right.
tour,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like I remember Mo like literally looked down the crowd and she pointed to us and she was like, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, hello. But hold on. Also, circling back to Halsey,
Yeah, I was gonna say I forgot something that I wanted to say about.
I have a memory that I don't ever talk about because I think I was the only person there. Um, and it just escaped me. It's like one of my very specific Halsey memories that I think about all the time. Where is it? Come on. You say yours first because it'll come back to me. I know once you start talking.
Okay, yeah. All I was gonna say was like when I saw her at GMA, I was with like my friends Bree, I was with Ian, like a couple other people, and
Brie, that queen Brie. I miss
love
her.
her, miss her. Um, and she came down during colors and was like running around and like singing into the crowd. I remember singing one of the lines like in we were in each other's faces, Halsey and I was like, "Hey girl." And like I had pink hair at the time. So like I don't know
You
if
like
she yeah,
we
I don't
see
know if
each
she
other.
yeah, I don't know if she recognized me, whatever, but I had pink hair, which was like the first time that she had seen me with pink hair, as far as I know. And then the next day when she had her Gov Ball set and we were barricade, I was like, oh, she definitely recognized me because during the same song, during Colors, when she ran down and like looked right into my eyes, I was like,
She was like, I see you.
it is my time. It is my
Oh,
time.
I remember what I wanted to say about Halsey. When I finessed a meet and greet at HFK tour,
Oh,
that
right.
was my clowniest moment because people that day wanted me dead.
I
They wanted
remember.
me
I remember
so
you telling me
bad.
about this.
Literally because I'll give the backstory of this. So on the HFK tour, there was Angela's meet and greet and Aria meet and greet, and then there was like Luna and Solace, which were like other VIP
Yeah, like
packages.
they had like a meet and greet and then like a lower level VIP, which just got you like merch and like a closer seat.
Right, which the closer seat was actually not closer. Actually, it was really terrible. But I mean, we can not. That's neither here nor there.
But keep in mind, the meet and greet was $450.
Right,
That was cheap.
and the normal seat with the merch and everything, I think was like 200.
Yeah, like
Um,
50 or something. I don't
and
remember.
so like I had, I think I had Solace, and they did this thing where if you got in line, if you were like Solace or Luna, if you had one of the lesser ones,
Yeah,
you got in line when it was time for meet and greet. They picked two people who didn't have meet and greet and upgraded them to meet
yeah,
and greet. And so I remember like the meet and greet check-in was at like 4:30, and I had got there at like 4:25. Like I just showed up and I was like cuz all the other like hardcore stands had got in line for upgrades at 10 o'clock in the morning.
yeah. Oh, because they
And
thought
they
like, oh, if we camp, they're gonna be like, oh, they're stands, we'll pick them.
right, they thought they were ahead of the people like in line for a normal VIP. And so they were coming and I like got behind the people in line, like the last person who had meet and greet, I like was the next person. So they were coming down the list, they were checking, and they go to me like, what's your name for meet and greet? And I was like, I don't have meet and greet, I'm just in line. And they're like, okay, wait here. And like, so they went and they just went and put a little meet and greet wristband on me. And I started like at that point, that was when in my crazy stand phase, I started like crying, like because I had never met Halsey before, and I was so excited, and I was like shaking, like I was so happy. And the looks from everyone else who had been there since 10 a.m. was like literally, if looks could kill, I would have been dead on the spot.
Yeah,
Like
I
they
I
wanted
believe
me
it.
dead that
Yeah,
day. And I remember I walked in and they all were like Gibson, and I was like, hey. The video of Miss Juicy. That's not Miss Juicy. She's like, hey, how y'all doing?
yeah. Wait, it is her.
Just
I
like,
thought.
is that
Hey,
her?
how do
Regardless,
you do it?
regardless, but then so they put me at the front of the meet and greet line because they didn't want to group me in with like the people who had like the pit tickets. So they let me go first in front of everyone. So I was the first to talk to her, but the meet and greet photo booth wasn't working properly yet.
Yeah,
But I had already like entered the photo booth. So while they were trying to fix it, we literally sat and talked for 10 minutes. So I got a free
love it.
10-minute first out of the gate meet and greet for the non-meet and greet price at Halsey Barclays. That was literally, I think that was the like finesse of the century.
Yeah, and I'm sure she recognized you, like, or
Oh
knew
yeah.
who you
Oh
were at
yeah.
least. Yeah. That's the thing with, like,
Yeah.
Halsey, it's like, I don't think she knows me because like, we've met once or whatever, but or, like, remembers me at least, but I know she does.
Mhm.
Like, I know if I met her, she'd be like, "Hey, like, I
Right.
know you," like
Hey. I think she's definitely one of those people that's really good with faces. And like literally like how she quoted me on Twitter the other day about New Jersey, I was like, so she knows I was like, so she knows I live in New Jersey?
yeah,
Like I don't know. She's one of those celebrities that's like, while there may be some like hot topic moments about her, and like there might be some debate as to whether she's good or not or whatever, like she is so good to her fans,
mhm,
and she just is an amazing person. Like even during like all the Black Lives Matter stuff, like she was out there at the front lines of the marches. Like I think a big thing with Halsey is even if you don't like her music, you can't say that she's not an amazing fucking person.
yeah, completely. And no, in this house, on this podcast, we stan Halsey. I don't
We
care.
stand.
Like,
We
she is,
stand.
like, she's just the best. Like,
And she's also great she is great to quote unquote stand. Like I think she's one of those artists that really puts all their time into making an era. And so like even with I remember HFK, like she had the scavenger hunt, she had the
yeah,
secret shows, she like hid things so you could have to unlock the single cover, but it wasn't like a tweet this like you had to go. And even with Badlands, like the Badlands scavenger hunt for tickets, like she does an era. And I think that's what's like her. And I was thinking about this with Gaga too. Like, there's certain artists that they'll give you the era. They
Yep.
will give you like, and I think the album is only part of it. Like they'll give you everything. They'll give you a performance and looks and an aesthetic and like things for fans. Like they go all out. And
Yeah.
that's what I think is really being a fun of what's fun of being a fan of people like Gaga and Halsey. Like you really get like they're gonna give you the era.
Yeah. And it makes it fun. Like, and I think it's because Halsey at least knows what it's like to be a stan and knows what is like fun for us and exciting because,
Right.
and I mean, I say fun, but like the like adrenaline that I get, like
Adrenaline.
when like I used to get like her post like the day that the Webster Hall shows were announced,
I went on to
the
I
nightmare.
went on to attack mode when she was like, and that and how I was able to get Badlands tickets. Like I was the only one out of my entire timeline to get them face value.
Yeah,
And then at the end of the HFK night, when the Nightmare banner dropped, I was like,
collapse.
and even
Sorry.
even recently when she started posting like the teasers for like the new Badlands era,
Mhm.
like she there's something about her, and I think it's because we were fans of her when we were so young, like
Mhm.
teenagers, that like there's such an era of nostalgia and adrenaline and fun that
Yeah.
gets brought out that we just are like we're such a sucker for.
Yeah. And I that's how like even like the older fans, like, people that I've met who are like out of college and like working, and they still like get excited when Halsey posts stuff because it's like
Right.
the memories that you have attached to it, like you can't let it go. And
And
it's, you know,
exactly. And that's how it is with us and Alana.
well,
It's like the fact that like a year ago it was like we could like everything was fine. We could just stand Lana in peace, and now here we are. But
even
like
now, I'm like, she's not serving. Like if she was
she's not
serving
serving.
Halsey was, I would be like, yeah. But
I
like
mean,
I just can't
the
get
the chemtrails teasers and the teaser looks that we've been getting.
sound just like NFR. Not that NFR was bad, but I'm just like, I want something new.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the songs because Let Me Like a Woman" is a demo that she rush released, but like the teaser for
The video, yeah, she did
the
look good.
video,
Yeah.
and that vampire teaser. But I
Oh,
think like that's part of why we love people like Lana so much too, is because like me and you have been Lana stans since the beginning,
yeah.
like since Born to Die, if not Paradise, like
No, I'll
that.
never let her go. I'm sorry. I can't.
Never.
Like, she'll still always be like in the back. Like, even if it's on the back burner, she's there. Like, she
She's
will
still
never
on the
escape.
stove.
Yeah.
She's still, and I think like for us, like I remember I've been a fan. I remember the day that Ultraviolence was released.
Me too.
Like we have been there for her for so long that I think there's certain artists that like there's no going away.
Yeah. I remember
She's
crying the first time I heard West Coast. Like, and it's not even a sad song. Like, I just cried. I was like, that
oh,
guitar.
the first time I heard that Shades of Cool high note,
Yeah.
I was like, boop boop.
Yeah. Sorry. Like, she's always going to be there. It's just, I think I read somewhere there was like a study where it said like the artists that you listen to like in your like late adolescence and like into your college years are like the artists that you form like they're the ones that you're going to listen to your whole life. And so I think it's
Right,
just like that
right.
growth period for you and like what the soundtrack to that time period is, it just sticks with you. So I think
And
that
also like her music is fucking amazing.
yeah. I mean, like,
Like
and it's influenced like every like almost every female alt pop or just like anyone who is like in that wide
right,
range of genres. Like she's influenced
right,
every single one or like almost all of them.
right.
So even though she is
Every
questionable, like
questionable nowadays. We are not post Jones Beach show
yeah,
last September. We don't know what's going on.
yeah,
We don't know what's going on. But everything before, all of her albums are amazing. There's not a bad album.
yeah,
There are albums that are not as good as others, but there's no bad album.
yeah. And I wonder if that's because like
And like
she-
she always gave it to us. I love her.
yeah, no, I mean, the first couple albums, like she was serving like movies for music videos. Like it was crazy.
Tropico and the Freak music video premiere. I mean, like she was giving it to you.
Yeah. So I can appreciate that now is like my,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I think we should touch really quickly on Webster Hall just because that's where the clown picture originated.
That was taken the day before in line in the rain.
Yes.
That line was toxic. That line was crazy.
Yeah.
There were fights to be had. There was yelling. There was confusion. There was
Yeah.
free pizza. Um,
Yes.
what a time to be alive that show was. It really was quite an experience.
Yeah. I'm sure Clay and I touched on it too, but yeah, it was just like it was the only time I've ever like camped overnight. And it was not fun. I mean, it was fun because I knew a lot of people, but it was just not a fun it's not fun to sit on the street for over 24
No,
hours. Like
no.
just
It was raining too.
yeah, what was so crazy about it for me was like we camped overnight for the first night and then just got right back in line. Like who
No
does
way.
that?
That was cracked. That was absolutely cracked.
Yeah.
I could not have. The only time I did overnight was for Taylor Swift at Good
Oh,
Morning America,
yeah.
which I did because I all my friends were going, and I was like, I'll go. And like the show was at 7 o'clock in the morning, so it wasn't like we were overnighting and then we had the whole rest of the day to go.
Yeah, it was first
Like
thing in the morning.
first thing in the morning, and I got in line right after because Tame Impala played MSG that night, so I just went right from MSG to like the line, and then I sat there for like in total it was probably like 8 hours or whatever.
Yeah, that's not
But
terrible.
it's not too bad, but I mean, like, overnighting is a disaster.
Yeah.
And because I think the thing about overnighting is once you overnight, then you have to do the whole rest of the day and then the
Mhm.
show. So your body is still fucked up from getting no sleep.
Yeah.
That the rest of the day, you're just like,
Yeah, you're, like, looking at your phone, like, insanely, just checking to see if, like, an hour has gone by, and it never has, like, it's, like, 20 minutes at most, and you're just
and
like
and the fear of like doors happening while you're like going to the bathroom in a Rite Aid for 2 minutes.
yeah, the fear, the
The
fear.
fear, the love and fear.
Yeah, no, it's just it's not it. I mean, like, that's like, would I go back after things come back? Yes. Yeah, I think I would.
Me, no, I would not. No, I would not. Mhm. Mhm, 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 mhm. Yes. Yes, yes, I would not. I go yes. If I went back, no, I didn't. Yes, I did.
I was just gonna say, if I go back to camping overnight, yes,
No, I
no, I
didn't.
didn't. Yes, I did.
Yet I'm telling you, when shows come back, y'all will not see me. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah,
I'm going
I'll be all
everywhere.
over.
I will be all over every music festival. All the music festivals that I had planned for this summer: Coachella, Govball, Firefly, Bonnaroo,
Mhm.
Loverfest, Camp Flog Gnaw, Lala, like all those. You will not catch me at home. I will be out and about. COVID vaccine, please come, please. COVID vaccine, if you're listening, please arrive soon.
Yeah. I hope so. Oh my god.
I'm going
Ugh.
crazy.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much everything I thought to cover. Is there anything you would like to cover? I feel like we kind of touched on each little thing, but I'm trying like what would you say your like most memorable show is like out of all of them?
Oh
Not
well,
even
it's the
just with
one.
me, like
It's the one that I don't shut the fuck up about. Lord Bowery Ballroom.
oh yeah.
That show um, was I had no money. I think I had $7 in cash on me. I was underage. It was 18 plus. I was 16, and I had no ticket. And I ended up on the barricade. I don't know a time that I have finessed harder.
Yeah.
And not even that, like not even me pulling that off. Like that show and seeing melodrama in Bowery Ballroom so close. It wasn't like there was a full production or anything. Just like seeing Lord in that small space and
Mhm.
hearing those songs and like oh my god.
Yeah.
And I know I talk about it a lot, but like seriously, like it was one of those shows that like I'll always remember because like it was just so it was so special,
Yeah. No,
and
I
it will never happen again. And she could never do that as a ticketed event because tickets would evaporate.
yeah. And so for those who don't know, Bowery is Bowery like 500 people?
500 people.
Yeah. I was
Five
gonna
hundred people.
it's very small
500.
compared to like her arena tour that
Very
she
small.
ended. Yeah. Which that also reminds me because it was the same weekend as like the melodrama like listening party, which I got invited to.
Trauma. Let's talk about more trauma. Melodrama.
Yeah.
Melodrama. That was so
Well,
bad.
yeah, I mean, the only thing I can say about that is like I remember getting invited to the listening party because I emailed it like immediately after they tweeted like the email. And I like begged my dad to let me go and he didn't. And so I didn't get to
I was
go.
I was underage and I still emailed. I was like, it's the video of the ASMR lady where she's typing and eating the chips. She's like,
Well, the thing is, like, you were at least closer to New York. Like, it made sense. Like, for me, I had never at that point gone to New York by myself. And so it was like, my parents were like, you're not doing that. Like, I had never even driven to the train station. I had only gone, like I said, with my dad, um, like a week or two before for the 1975.
you know what? Perhaps sometimes we are anti-Dave.
Yes, sometimes. That was one of the times.
Not when he makes his award-winning chili, or not
No,
when he is the king, but
yes.
sometimes as a treat.
Oh no, and I hold that against him and he's like, "Look, I'm sorry. I just wanted you to be safe." And I'm like,
And I
"You
get
didn't
that.
get to meet Lord."
Yeah,
But it is
I
what
don't
it
know.
is.
Also, I have one question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite memory of the two of us together? Favorite that's not Govball.
That's
Because
a hard one.
I have one.
Honestly, like I'm trying to think about like all the shows we've seen together. We've seen a lot.
So
Like
many.
and we have a lot of like a lot of memories outside of shows where I'm
Mhm.
like, "Oh, that was really fun." But
Right.
I'm trying to think. Honestly, like Firefly was really fun.
That amazing.
Like, I would
That
honestly say because we had, like, those front row passes and we could kind of, like, avoid the crowd, and it was just more chill than Gov Ball because Gov Ball was, like, 2
yeah.
weeks before, and it was not fun for me.
Nope.
Um, so I would say Firefly just because it was a lot more laid back, and I felt like we could really just, like, enjoy the festival.
Right.
And seeing Travis was fun together, and
That close too.
yeah,
And that weekend was so fun. And that Alice in Wonderland set was
so
so
fun.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the silent disco and everything. I think my favorite memory with you, what it's a direct tie. Actually, no, I have a favorite. It was when we did Charlie Philly and we went to the haunted house.
Oh, yeah, that was so fun too.
That whole weekend when we did that and we did Perkins and we did
Perkins
the day
closed.
that
Perkins
location.
closed.
No, ripping the chair.
I know. I haven't gone back because it's still like a diner. It's just like under a different name. So maybe it's still the same food, but I'm like
Not
I'm
this.
so upset.
Not this shit. Oh my god. Oh,
But
never
yeah,
mind. Tainted memory. I'm kidding.
stop. No, no, no.
Um, but
But
like
I
that whole
agree.
weekend was so fun, and then we did the day in Philly where we saw Rachel Dratch when we were getting mint hot chocolates.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was fun because it was just the two of us too.
It
Like
was
it's
just two
really
of us.
rare that it's just the two of us hanging out, but that was
Rare.
really fun.
That
Going
was
into
such a fun
Philly.
weekend.
Yeah. I miss Philly. I have not been back since before Corona.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, but I'm just sad. I miss it. But yeah, that was a really fun day. And seeing Charlie with you is like always so fun. Like LPR was super fun too.
Yeah. And
So
then we did that Doreen Electra after party.
that was something.
That we thought that Charlie was gonna be there, and then I made you stay there till what 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, I was like, can we go?
I was like, no, Umar is about to be on, and then we left, and Umar did Lucy Liu, and I was like, "Ugh."
Yeah, I know. I'm like out of all the songs. And like love Umru, but sometimes like I just don't like DJ sets. Like it's really rare that I like a DJ set. So like even
Yeah,
seeing Umru DJ, I was like, look,
that's
he's not
fair,
playing Green Money in a briefcase.
right? There's no green money in a briefcase, green money in a briefcase, green money, green, green, green. I'm like whiplash,
Oh my
fucking
God.
whiplash.
Okay. Let's say our current favorites of the week.
Okay, who wants to go first? Because you apparently have notably interesting ones.
Yes. So like yeah, if you have like a current favorite song, album, artist, I'll say mine. I was kind of struggling this week because I felt like not a lot of like new things came out, but I listed a couple. So my favorite song right now is probably Want Me by Baby Queen. I don't know if you listen to Baby Queen.
I
But
love Internet Religion.
yeah,
Wow,
I love her.
so good.
Yeah. I'm really
I love Baby.
her EP comes out tonight. It'll be out by the time this episode is out, but her EP.
Oh, I will have to stream.
Yeah, it's coming out tonight, so enjoy. Again, if you're listening to this, it is already out, but go listen to it, the Medicine EP.
So if anything, you have no excuse now that it is already out.
Yes. And then okay, you are gonna think I'm crazy for because I slandered this album a lot. when it came out, but I've given it a second chance.
What is it, Jordan? What is it? What is
Well,
it?
you
What,
know,
Jordan? Jordan? Jordan, what is it? What is the album? What is the album?
we talked a lot about the 1975 today.
Not this fucking shit. Oh, boo. Boo. I'm totally gonna break. Like, headphone listeners beware. Boo. Boo. Get her off the stage. Are you
No, I'm literally being serious. Like I re-listened to Notes on a Conditional Form and I was like, okay, I see what they were doing. And I like it. I'm still not obsessed. I still think it's probably my least favorite, but I like it now. And I can actually like enjoy all of the songs. Whereas before I had to like cut it down to like 12 because I didn't
yeah.
want to listen to 22. But now I'm like, okay, like I listened to it like like I was listening to something while I was studying. And so like I put that on and I was actually like really enjoying it. So I'm like, okay. I've also been listening to like not a lot of new albums, so I kind of gave that a second chance. And then other than that, I've been listening to like Hard to Imagine, The Neighborhood Ever Changing by The Neighborhood. Like it's just like a lot of like old band albums that I like. I mean, that's not even old, but like not as recent albums by bands that I already like. So that's kind of what I've been listening to. And then my favorite artists right now are I really like Benny's music. Like
Oh
Benny has been
yeah.
putting out really great stuff right now.
She's always been making bangers, and I literally think it's time. Like she had the one song, the Super Lonely song with Gus
Mhm.
Stafford in or whatever.
Yeah.
But like her stuff bangs. It's so good.
Yeah, I always
Spider,
liked yeah,
classic.
I really liked Glitter, like, when, like, her
Oh
EP came
yeah.
out. Yeah, so I was like, I've just haven't been, like, keeping up, and then she put out Plane, that song with, like, Flo Milli and Lily Allen, and I was like, "Wow,
Oh,
this
I
is
didn't listen to that.
it's so good. You should listen to it." The hook is, like, amazing.
I was confused because I was like, what a weird pairing.
I know, but it was really, really good. I like listening to that song all the time. And then I would also say Brie Runway is a favorite. Brie Runway's new mixtape.
2000 and Forever.
Yeah, go listen to that because Runway's an icon.
HCM with Missy Elliott. Like, are we kidding?
Yeah. Okay, so what are your current favorites?
So I have like I kind of go through these weird phases where like I get into like sections of my playlist. Like
Same.
I'll just go down like it's an album. So I've kind of been living today, at least in this section of my playlist, that goes One More Weekend by Molitor.
Classic.
Amazing. Classic. Lifetime by Rami, who is a member of the XX.
Yeah.
Smoke Signals by Phoebe, because a little depression is a treat.
As a
Um, as a treat. Little Green by Joni Mitchell.
Mhm.
So, Here We Go Again by Mariah Carey. It's from her The Rarities album. Listen, I don't really listen to a lot of Mariah Carey, but this song, it's like crack to me. Like, it's just like, it's that video of Gaga going, like, it's that to me. And then Strawberry Blonde by Mitski.
Oh, I love that song.
So good. Carrie by Joni Mitchell, and then Skate Depot by Channel Trace are like the 10 songs right now that I've just like literally today like love. And then I think album, let's check. What have I been streaming? I've been doing a lot of position streaming.
Oh, same.
A lot. I think a concerning amount. Oh wait,
Yeah.
also new Pale Wave single?
Yeah, oh, I'll be streaming. That's
Oh
another album
good.
I was listening to a ton this week, Pale Waves. I was like, "Oh, I'm getting
Their
back into these
their
grits."
records are really good. But I think
Yeah.
my two albums, Positions, classical,
Yep.
and Fruit by Marina, her magnum opus. I will die on this hill. It is her best album. Blue is
That's
one
an
of
unpopular opinion too, because a lot of diamonds hate
we
that
get it.
album.
We get it. Gay. We get it. All the gay twinks like Electra Heart because they want to feel like Electra Heart. We get it. Pack it up. Move it on. Fruit is the not. Fruit is her best body work, and I will die on that hill.
I do love Fruit. I wish that like she had continued that sound into Love and Fear, but
I
you know
mean,
how it goes.
I think we all did, but we can't all be
Wait,
winners.
what's your favorite song on Positions? Do you have
34,
a
35.
favorite? Oh,
34,
I kind of love that
like
one, but I think Just Like Magic is my favorite.
oh yeah, but I think like Ariana like making a hook to a song being like, "Can we stay up all night? Fuck me until the daylight." 34, 35. Like like
She has
like
such a way
oh
with
my
words.
god. Oh my like I literally just I heard that song and I literally me and Clay listened to it together and I just remember I heard that and I just went, "Oh my god." Like
Yeah.
and I
I could
hadn't
not put 34 and 35 together. Like I did
right.
not
I was like,
realize.
"What is this?" I was like, "What is this title?" And then I heard like,
The ending.
and then I heard it, and I was like, I was like, bitch was like, ah, like I was gasping, like it took me for a whirlwind.
Yeah.
And then artist Phoebe Bridgers, classical.
And that's valid.
It's
Phoebe
valid.
Bridgers is a queen.
It's so. I mean, I, especially for fall, like she is the fall. She is the fall artist.
Yeah.
Like I have this one playlist called Punish Lore, which is like
Yeah.
Punisher, Folklore, Stranger in the Alps, and Read by Taylor Swift. And like those four albums are like the fall soundtrack. But I think like Phoebe Bridgers just like is the woman we all wanted to be, is the friend we always needed, is the mother we always wanted. She is the best friend that would take care of us in a time of need. She is the COVID vaccine. She is everything and nothing. And she is every tree, every mountain. She is the air we breathe and the water we drink. She is depression, and she is also therapy. She is a poem and a book. She is everything.
I'm actually crying. Like,
she,
no,
she's so good.
Phoebe's music is free therapy. Like, anyone who doesn't listen to it, you're just not sad enough. Like,
It's free therapy, but it also makes it worse.
you're correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
You are correct. Well, on that note,
On the note of depression from Phoebe Bridgers.
would you like to plug your social media?
Oh, what do you think? What do you think this is? I'm doing free press. I'm kidding. My
Chef.
celebrity chef. Listen, you handsomely paid my booking fee, and I obliged to be on the podcast. My rider was sent. My packages were sent via Fresh Direct for my rider. I mean, I don't know. My Instagram is at Gibson Borelli. My Twitter is A World Alone, but the L in alone is an I. My Spotify is Gibson Borelli. That's about it. I really don't do anything else. I don't have TikTok. I'm anti-TikTok. I think I also should have discussed this. I'm anti-TikTok. TikTok is ruining music, but that's a different story. Yeah, you can, and I'm also like all over Jordan's social media pages. So
Yes.
if you can't find me, I'm always liking a tweet of Jordan's or commenting on her posts. So I exist in the Jordan.
We
cinematic
support
universe.
each other's tweets.
Right. The Jordan cinematic universe is filled with my content.
Cinematic. Well, with all that being said,
Well,
Gibson, I must tell you really quick, you were like requested by people like on the podcast. Like when I put like, yeah, I was like, who's like your dream guest? Like people were like Gibson. I'm like, oh, well, he was already planned, but
absolutely. Listen, I was telling Clay, I was like, any excuse to talk about myself, I will be taking. I was like, because the thing is, me and you, we have so many funny fucking stories.
Yeah.
That like I don't even think like a podcast episode covers all of it.
No,
like,
we literally could have filled 2 hours, but like
2 hours.
You know what? Maybe he'll be back next season, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, season 2. I mean, like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of my Charlie XCX merch and my Alexa Demi tapestry.
Ah, yes. Love
yes.
it. So, everyone, this has been an episode of Both Sides of the Barricade. You can follow us on Instagram at Both Sides of the Barricade. You can follow us on Twitter at BSOTB pod, the acronym and then pod. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, Both Sides of the Barricade. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever. My Instagram and Twitter are JTaylorLDR. And this episode is available on Spotify, iTunes. You can watch it on YouTube. Please follow, subscribe, like, download, rate, comment, all of that. Please leave me a rating. I love to read them. It's always so nice to see people's reactions. I'm glad you guys are enjoying. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Gibson, for being on.
You're welcome. This podcast is brought to you by Audible and Squarespace.
No, they're not paying me. No free promo. Oh my God. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Gibson, for being on.
Goodbye,
I'll see you next week with our next artist episode. I'm very excited, and we will see you next time. Bye.